I've got Justin with me from Positron 3D, and he has brought something very exciting for me. Welcome.
Thank you. I brought you your very own Positron. Positron is the most portable printer for the build space in existence.
Okay. So Nomad, the CEO of Positron, approached me and said, hey, would you be interested in a Positron? It's this portable 3D printer. It prints upside down. And I said, yes. I'm not quite sure what I would do with it yet, but yes, let me get hands-on with it. I'm sure I will figure something out. So we just dive into it?
Yeah, there's some cool surprises
All
in
right,
here.
should I open it? Do you want to?
I mean, it's your printer.
Okay.
Press it
Push.
up.
Oh, these are nice boxes.
Yes, these are Pelican cases.
Oh, this is sexy.
Yes. Before you do anything, so
Yep.
the bed has a coating. You got to make sure you don't scratch it with
Okay.
metal because it's the same thing as a phone screen.
Okay.
And if you scratch it too much,
Got it. You
this is your
remove that
heat
coating.
bed. So
Okay. And so that's for the conduction for the heat.
for the bed. Yep.
Got it.
So
Wow.
always be careful with glass. It is
Okay.
tempered, so
Okay.
it's going to do what tempered glass does.
Yep.
On the glass, we
Awesome.
also have our little silicone nozzle wiper.
Oh, okay.
That's where
Yep.
it perks before it begins
Okay.
to print.
And so this is the bottom, but it's the print surface.
yes,
So
it's like
printing
a
here.
resin printer, but
Yep.
an FDM.
Got it.
Next, we've got our controller screen
Okay.
with a CM4 and a
Yep.
screen.
Nice.
You've got your little SD card.
Yep. So just the CM4 is the Raspberry Pi compute
Yes,
module.
correct. And then you have your Raspberry Pi screen, basically.
Nice.
We've tried to run it headless. It does need a direct USB-C connection to the printer
Yep.
to operate. If
Yep.
you lose that connection, just like any other printer,
Got it.
there's the middle of the print. We do have your spool holders here.
Okay.
For today, we're not going to use these.
Okay.
We got our power supply and our USB-C cable.
You guys printed this in black and strange parts red.
It comes right out. It's about 3 kilograms.
Nice. Yeah, it's got a little heft to it.
So right now it's in its folded
Okay.
version.
Yeah.
Very easy to unfold. I always start with our 2 screws.
Okay.
So this is your screw for the vertical.
Okay.
This is your bed V holder screw.
Okay. And those go back in once
They
we've
do.
got it set
Yep.
up? Okay.
So you're going to lift the printer from here and here,
Okay.
up. Yep.
Does that go with it, or
It will come
it's
out.
not even
Yep.
attached? Okay.
Grab your thumb screw.
Okay.
And go ahead and screw it in. So that holds your V in place. It is
Okay.
solid. Next, you want to take your V holder.
Okay.
As you can see, we've got the splines to hold
Yep.
it together. Line that up and
Okay.
grab your other screw and just tighten it in.
Okay.
Again, snug as possible. So now we have the bed up. One thing I always forget that has kicked me hard, you've got your Z belt.
Okay.
The problem is, if you don't secure that, it's just going to bounce all over while
Yep.
the bed's bounced. So if you take that guy and click it into place.
So up.
Yep, correct.
Okay.
Perfect. Just like that. And that keeps the bed from moving unintentionally
Got it.
during printing. So you take that guy and install it.
goes here.
This is an XT30 plus 2.
Okay. So this is probably bed, heat, and thermistor.
Correct. And then same thing with this, but this is USB XT30 plus 2. You've got your end for the tool head. So that guy will plug right in. You do have your main board connection right here.
Okay.
So you're in the head. I always recommend curling it so it kind of presses up on this.
Okay.
And we'll see why. Press that guy in.
Got it.
For the most part, you're unfolded. We can take the bed and install it
Okay.
at this point. This is the coating side. This is the print surface. You're going to take it and line up both edges of the bed
Got it.
with your holes and slide it into the connector right here.
Oh, that's
Push it in.
cool.
Yep, and now the nice thing is the bed, because of our longer things, is not going to move. We do want to connect our screen to the USB-C port down here.
Yeah.
You do have Ethernet and USB. You can run
Nice.
this off the Wi-Fi.
Any sort of tethered you want.
Correct, if you don't want anything.
Yeah.
Like
Which, if you're going to use this in a remote location, you may not have Wi-Fi. You may not want to bother with
it
Wi-Fi.
is capable to use USB-C straight off the laptop. It also has its own hotspot.
Nice.
Let's go ahead and grab that power supply out of the
Okay.
thing. You've got your plug.
And just so I know, where did the spool holders go?
So they would sit offside.
Oh, I see.
Usually like
Okay.
back here.
Okay.
If you don't have, and a lot of people don't have this. This is a design that allows you to take a spool that has a lip
Got
and
it.
hang it. We do have a little bit of interruption here, so we may end up using that. Let's actually
Okay.
get that spool holder out.
Okay.
Not every spool is compatible. You have
Yeah.
to have a lip on the inside.
Yeah, we grabbed some bamboo and some Prusa
Yep.
filament here, so just off my rack. So.
I'm sure you saw our little hidden
I did. Yeah.
Yes, I
So
don't
there's
know
a
if the
really
camera
nice
sees
logo
that.
right there.
You pulled your logo. I actually did the painting.
These are slick.
Yes, they are really awesome. And now it's going to turn on. You've got status LEDs here as well as LEDs down the channel that are addressable. It's running our custom built Positron.
Well, what I've seen thus far, I am impressed at the quality of the build. The knob back here is all, steel or aluminum? It's all metal. This could have easily been a plastic knob on the screen.
Yes.
Like, it just feels very solid.
Premium. The printer is on. We've got our gorgeous screen here.
Yeah.
So this is Clipper.
Okay.
I'm running fluid.
See that. Let's see. We need to get this on the Wi-Fi.
Yes.
Is that right?
And it should be connecting. Maybe
And then we've got Orca Slicer here.
Let's go ahead and import something.
Let's see. I don't know if I have anything good, but we could find something on like printables.
Yep. We have a Positron cube.
Sure.
Yep, Positron test cube right there. And Orca, it's pretty much set. You can hit go. It is tuned for regular speed.
And then should I just hit print here?
No, we actually don't want to hit print. I forgot we need to level your bed.
Oh, right.
Let's home the printer. So move.
Yep.
And home.
Yep.
And home all. It's going to home X and Y. It is sensorless homing for X and Y. We do have an end stop here on Z.
Okay.
That's what gives you your
Got it.
offset.
So once it's out on the table and I'll put together,
It's so stable you shouldn't have to mess with anything.
That's awesome.
We're homed. Now we need to do our levels. So we've got the bed level macro, which is really good.
Okay.
We'll start with that because I actually replaced these parts with taller ones.
Okay.
So the nice thing is we can actually go in and click each point on the screen. And what it's going to do, we need that piece of paper, you're able to actually take this and level the bed based on that. Now this is a hard point. You can't move it.
Okay.
But when you go to your other points, take your piece of paper, you're going to want to tighten or loosen. And tightening brings the bed up, loosening brings it down.
Sure.
So you kind of want it just ever so snug.
Yep.
Ish. Let's do this a couple times.
Yep.
And then we're going to do our Z calibrate. What that does, that will actually bring the nozzle back, and we can calibrate the height. This is calibrating your Z offset.
Sure.
On the screen, you have raised nozzle, lower nozzle, accept. Same thing. So obviously that's loose.
All right. Well, we need to raise it.
Whoops, wrong way. Lower. Everything's inverted.
Oh, right. Okay. Because it's the bed we're doing.
Correct.
Okay. So lower.
Let me know when
it's
it's
too low.
Too low. So we're going to go ahead and accept that. And the printer's going to reboot, saves that into its firmware.
Great.
So now we're loaded. Let's go and load some filament. One thing that you kind of have to have, this is Slice Engineering's nozzle painting. Great for other printers, incredible for this because when gravity brings that filament back down on the nozzle gets a little messy. Yeah. So we take this, brush it right on the nozzle.
And what is this? Is this a lubricant?
This is nozzle repellent paint.
Oh.
So
it prevents the filament from sticking to it?
Correct.
That's cool.
Yes. Let's go and grab our end and cut it like you would a Prusa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We are running the V2 redesigned extruder. I have the V1 on mine.
This is a cool little stand.
So we go to our thing.
Okay.
And you've got an extrude button. The macro is already built in, and you can literally line the filament up and hit load. The printer's going to heat up.
Where am I lining it up to?
You got a little insert right here.
Okay.
See that little slot? I'm going to hit load. It's going to home, and then it's going to heat the nozzle to 210 or so, and then it'll load the filament all the way through.
So I just hang out and hold this until it starts feeding?
Yep.
Oh, there it goes.
Yep. Okay. And the fan blows during it because you want to cool it as it comes out. Luckily, I've got my little pliers right here. Brought all the tools.
Perfect.
It will always sound like it's not doing it properly. I don't remember on the macro if it retracts. I always retract about 5 millimeters at the end.
Okay.
Because you don't want it to do that. Once it's done, it's going to cool back off to 180. And I'm just going to cool it back down. Loud fan. It is, a 10K fan, which you don't see many of.
Yep.
So we've got that. We'll just throw that out of the way. And now we're ready to print.
Awesome.
So we turn that fan back off. About a 36-minute print. So go ahead and hit print. So it's going to show you the print as well as the fine-tuning options, settings, speeds, extrusions. You can mess with it all here so you don't have to be sitting on a computer waiting. I'm going to slow down the first layer.
Okay.
I got the first print. We want to make sure everything goes out.
So we're just heating right now?
We're heating right now. The bed heats first to 60. Once the bed's heated, be hot anyway.
Yeah, got it.
And then we'll be off to the races.
Said
The
open
amount of
sauce,
people
so.
we had do a double take on us
Yeah.
at open sauce was hilarious.
That's awesome.
It was just constant, huh? Wait, huh? How do you, what's the point? You know,
Right. So answer it. Why upside down?
it's portable because everything's in the base. Because all of your motors, except your extruder, is built into the base. Your AB motors, your Z motor, everything. So
Got
that
it.
gives you the ability to have all of your weight at the bottom so you don't get as much ringing,
Yep.
as well as the portability to fit it into a film box. So this guy is almost warmed up. We're putting it 220. The nice thing is this will clear. It's actually all designed so close to clear.
Yeah.
You got your tensioner here. So it's going to sit there right there on the pad. We're going to test it. And now, oh look, it's almost perfect. Little close. Remember, up is down, down is
Yep.
up. So I want to actually go away. Oh, that's absolutely perfect. How did I get that?
Pretty good.
This side needs, yeah.
It's
no,
wild to be looking down
Yes.
through the
to
bed
see your
at the
own
print.
personal first layer.
That's pretty cool.
I think that's a first layer. Dang, got that right the first
Wow.
try.
So,
Now, you haven't asked me yet how the filament gets to the nozzle.
So you've got your extrusion motor here, and then you've got a tube that runs down this cable chain.
Right.
And then it looks, oh, I see what, I get
Has
it now.
hit you yet?
Well, I hadn't really thought about it, but now that I've thought about it, there is one distinct thing, which is
Yes.
that normally a piece of filament comes down in axis with the nozzle
Correct.
and comes out this way.
Yes.
This does a right angle turn.
A full 90-degree turn.
So if I were to guess, the hot end, the heater block probably it does the right angle turn in the heater block. So you're pushing cold filament into a chamber of molten plastic and then squirting it up out the nozzle. So this is wild to watch it do the first layer, but
Now-
then you really got to get under here to be able to see what it's doing after that.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. Now I get to show you some cool things.
Okay, let's let this print.
Yep. So I've got 2 positrons, only brought one today. I had
Okay.
an issue with one
Got
last
it.
night because, of course.
That's the way it goes.
So I brought mine. With this glass bed, you could do PLA. You can do PET sheet,
Okay,
asterisk,
okay.
with a glue stick. Why would
Okay.
you do that on that gorgeous glass bed and potentially ruin it? So LDO makes a PCB bed.
Oh.
Same thing. You put it in. You do have to
Sexy.
recalibrate, Z-adjust, but you get the benefits of a removable. How did now
Nice.
think about this? You're upside down. You have a flex plate with a weight.
Right? You just had to have strong enough magnets.
Exactly.
And you're good to go.
Well, this bed is rated for 105C.
Okay.
So you can do ABS. You need
Okay.
a little like calm grow tent kind
Yep.
of thing,
Mhm.
but you can still do ABS. Obviously, just like a bed,
Yep.
PCB bed, you do
That's
have
pretty
smooth
sexy.
PEI, and you do have
That's
this. I did clean it. I don't remember if I put Vision-Mine on it.
Okay.
Depending on time, we can always see if it prints.
Yep.
But it's gorgeous. Slots right
That's
in.
awesome.
Little rubber sides, and you've got yourself a bed. The nice thing is, in your case, you can take it and just throw it right in top.
That's cool.
Now, if you're going to carry this on a plane, never put tools in this case.
Right.
They go bye-bye. So
Yep.
this is actually yours.
Awesome, thank you. The build quality on this is impressive. It is not what I expected.
Right.
And not that I expected something crappy, but it is next level. This is quite nice. Yeah, because you guys look like you have carbon fiber in there.
Yep, so
and-
it's actual carbon fiber
Yep.
plates. The bottom plate is aluminum. It's a
Okay.
heat sink.
Yep.
That's
Does anybody else have a glass heated bed like this? Or is this unique
like
to
this specifically? No.
this? This is pretty impressive.
Now everyone gets to see how quickly.
Yeah, when you're not
assemble.
teaching me how quickly this goes together.
And this just allows it to spin on the PTFE. And now the printer's been set up for a good minute. I'm not running the same firmware. I'm running an older generation.
Okay.
So obviously purging some filament. I am running Bondtech CHT because I can.
Yeah.
If for those on camera, you can look inside and kind of see some of the stuff.
Yeah.
The board's amazing. And then you've got your little power diverter box. This spot's also useful for an internal power supply mod. What do I have on here to hit print with? Let's go functional. And as you see, we've got our little cable spine. That's to minimize any interaction with the edge of the rail. Because of where it's connected, it's known to sag.
Yeah. Do not underestimate these positrons.
Yeah.
They are. I am genuinely impressed. And I'm impressed. This is just printing.
Yep.
You know, for a new printer that, yes, someone has tweaked, but it's been rattling around in a box. It's been in the back of your trunk.
It's shipped via UPS.
Shipped via UPS.
This is a cool filament to be printing on glass. Oh, that looks really cool.
Yep. A little bit of leveling. I think this side's closer to this side. It happens, but for the most part, everything stays in place. It's a longer print. We can always cancel anytime. But the nice thing is, once the bed cools, the print pops off. Because gravity.
Right.
But when you have a failed print, gravity.
Right. Yeah, what happens then?
It runs into the nozzle.
Yeah.
If your cooling is inadequate, gravity.
Yeah, okay.
This takes a bit to get used to because everything's upside down.
I hadn't thought about that.
Little things. This one is tuned for a little bit faster than that one.
Yeah.
We're running about 20K acceleration.
Okay.
Obviously, we're not going to see it, but when the quick moves,
Yeah.
but it goes pretty quick. So I am one of the organizers for the Rocky Mountain Rep Rap Festival. This year is our third year. It is May 17th and 18th at the Ranch Events Complex in Loveland at the Peterson Toyota Arena.
In Colorado.
In Colorado.
And it's what? Maybe an hour and a half from the airport?
45 minutes.
45 minutes?
Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's close.
Okay.
Lots of hotels.
But I went last year and it was a blast.
Yep.
Smaller event, intimate. I'll be
About
there.
38,000 square feet.
We're talking about having me talk.
Yep.
I don't know. I might be announcing
There's gonna be,
combat robotics.
No, the event's going to be huge. It's free to attend.
Yeah.
More info on the word for Death Racers, Dragsters, Robot community members, creators.
So, how much do these cost?
These kits are $6.99.
Okay. And so you assemble it yourself?
Yep, full kit.
How long roughly does it take someone who's never done it before to assemble it?
8 to 10 hours.
That's not too bad. That's kind of, a long weekend day. So $6.99 for the hardware, but that's not including the 3D printed parts.
The printed parts are, from what I know, I think one does it for $1 cheaper, about $100.
Okay.
Fabrico, West.
Or you can print them yourself.
Print them yourself. Highly recommend. ABS, ASA.
And then where should people go if they want to learn more or want to buy one?
You can go to positron3d.com. That has our suppliers, our GitHub, our documentation, our Discord, everything.
Great.
So
awesome. And then do you guys sell directly through the website or you sell through distributors?
Through distributors. We have Fabrico, West 3D, and KB3D that do directly, and I know Matter Hackers is doing them, and they're doing their own printed parts outside of our supply.
Well, thank you, Justin.
You're welcome. Thank you.